Welcome to another edition of Against the Grain Sports Podcast Uncut. And I'm your host, Jody Coleman, in the building. And we join with my guy, Jarrell Soul on Sports, Glenn, all the way from San Antonio, Texas. Man, how you feeling, my guy?
I'm feeling great today, man. How you feeling today, brother?
Man, I couldn't complain. Can't complain about what's going on, how I'm feeling. We had a little snow up here, man. I
Really?
didn't know it was supposed to snow. Yeah, it snowed up here. I woke up and I was a winter wonderland outside. That's what you get in Ohio, man. So you know what I'm saying. You don't know if you're gonna get snow, if you're gonna I might go out there, it might be 85 degrees tomorrow. You have no idea what happens here in the Midwest, man. But nevertheless, man, it was not a bad day, man. I had some kids that came. Remember back in well, you probably won't know that because you live in warm weather climates, but back in the day, man, kids used to come around and shovel your snow. I
Yeah.
finally seen some kids in the neighborhood that wanted to shovel some snow, and I paid him $20, and the kid did a front tuck. He slipped and did like a front tuck and fell, man. I wish I had my camera out because that would have definitely went viral, man. But they were having fun out there, man. But man, what's going on down there your way?
Bro, we got 60 degree weather for a high, 40 something for a low. But everything's good, man. It's same old, bro. You know how it is, man. Wake up another day, another great day. Uh, Family's good, so everything's okay, I guess.
Definitely, man. And we know we got a lot of football coming up, man.
Yeah.
We got some NFL football this weekend, man. Real quick before I even get into this, man, how the hell did Sam Darnold get hurt? He's been out for 2 weeks, and now I'm gonna ask you this. I'm not gonna put that up there, but tell me, like, is he? They're trying to put in a built-in excuse, so if they can say he lost, he's like, well, his oblique was bothered. Talk to me about this situation with him, man.
Jody, I think he's got the bubble guts. You know, when you get nervous in situations and your stomach seems upset, I think he knows what's coming, pause. He knows there's a lot of pressure on him. They're the number one seed in the NFC. Home field advantage. Just win 2 home games. You're in the Super Bowl. And you're playing against your division rival. A beat up team at that. But all the pressure is on Sam Darnold to see what he can do. And we'll see if the people's champ quarterback can step up and win a big playoff game. Because if the next time he does, it will be the first time. Because he ain't done it yet, Jody.
Yeah, because I believe he's played in one playoff game so far. He lost that game last year against the Rams last year, but
Yeah.
this year they're the number one seed. But the reason why I brought that up because I'm looking like, man, he's been out for 2 weeks. He hasn't played in 2 weeks, and how you hurt your oblique. I think it was an injury perhaps in practice. I've never seen a quarterback get touched in practice, though. That's the thing. Like, you are not supposed to touch a quarterback in practice. Like, that's the red shirt is on for a reason, and whoever did it probably gonna get cut if they touch Sam Darnold in practice. But because he is playing well enough for them to be in the number one seed, do I think that he's a transcending quarterback? No, but he's doing just enough. Sam Darnold is, man. But the big story, man, we got out here, man. Over last night, I was watching some college basketball. Duke
Yeah.
Duke had beat Cal, and I was watching that game, and some other game. BYU got by TCU. TCU just is. I don't watch like 3 TCU games, and I know their head coach Jamie Dixon want to pull his hair out because they've been in all 3 of the games. Kansas came back to beat them. They lost. I believe they just lost to BYU. I mean, in close
Yeah.
games that they had and control the whole game. And Jamie Dixon, I know he's a hell of a coach, man, but I know at some point he's gonna pull his hair out. And I seen BYU and they 3-headed monster and Richie Saunders, Robert Wright the third, and also of course AJ Dubansky. That team is loaded, man. They got some studs on that team, man. But while I was looking at that, so this is what I came across. They said the Giants are to hire head coach John Harbaugh. They're still like working out some legalities when it comes to that. It's not completely official, but what do you think about that? So
Jody, I think me and you kind of predicted this that they need some stability. You got players relieving themselves during film study, so that's a turn off. So they need some stability in the locker room. John Harbaugh gives you that. I mean, he's been in the same organization for 18 years, won a Super Bowl, made some playoff runs. So I'm pretty sure he's going to get the players' attention. Apparently, the hold up in the contract is I think he wants total control of players, like who's drafting players, this and that. I think he wants that control. I think that's probably the hold up on the contract. So we'll see what happens with the Giants. So I think they definitely upgraded their coach though.
do you think that's will be if you were John Harbaugh and you couldn't get complete control. Remember back in the day when Bill Parcells, he went to I believe it was the Cowboys. He said, if I'm going to shop for the groceries, I need to be able to get the groceries and shop for them and cook at the same time. Makes it he wants to make all decisions. Is that a deal breaker if you're John Harbaugh if they don't give you complete control, autonomy of that organization?
Well, at least let me. If you're gonna pay me a shitload of money, apparently the contract is like $100 billion. If you're gonna pay me that much money, at least let me pick my GM. We can be on the same page, if nothing else. Because I think it's too much on the coach's play. Who's the old Green Bay coach and went to Seattle with the thick mustache? He went to Seattle and took him. You know what
Hombre.
I'm talking.
Hombre.
He had that total control in Seattle. They made that one playoff run when they went to the Super Bowl that one year. He didn't do a whole lot after that. So I think it's too much on the play for a coach to be having total control over the organization. You hire the right GM, that way you're on the same page, and let him do some of that work for you.
Donald, my nephew said I seen that, and they said it is more than likely taking Todd Monken. They want Todd Monken to come in as offensive coordinator
Yeah.
with him. Do y'all think that the same dynamic work with Jackson Dart that worked with Lamar Jackson? They're a different type of quarterbacks. And Eagles Philly said, "Good evening, good brothers. Keep doing your thing. Stay safe and stay blessed." That's my guy over there, Eagles Philly, out of Philly. Going back to what Donald said, I don't think that they have the same success they had with Lamar Jackson. I think Munkins can come in and change it, but I think I'm really scared when it comes to Jackson Dart because he doesn't know how to get out of bounds yet. And I mean, I know that's something he wants to be down with the team and show how tough he is, but you got to be smart. Sometimes it's better to be smart than tough.
Oh,
and I think that that's going to be something that they're going to have to teach him. But when it comes to Harbaugh being a head coach, I think it's a big splash. So now the other dominoes can fall with these other teams. But does this guarantee success in New York? Absolutely not. This is
no.
not. This doesn't guarantee anything. It just guarantees that you have a coach that is competent. You have a coach that's a proven winner. You got a coach that is a person of longevity. I think Harbaugh is fantastic for this organization. I mean, this guy came from being a special teams guy. Remember, he was a special teams guy under Andy Reid, and now he's become one of the sought-after head coaches. I like Jackson Dart. You get Neighbors back. You get Scatterboot back. The defense was last against the run. I don't know how a defense that got Dexter Lawrence is last against the run. But so, what do you think about this? Like, how many years do you think it's going to take Harbaugh to turn this organization around? Because you see a lot of these other rookie coaches, Cohen up there with Jacksonville,
Yeah.
Vrabel. There's a lot of rookie coaches that have changed organizations almost in 1 year.
Well, like you just named some of the young pieces that they have there. They got a core of good young players still on a rookie deal that they can play with. Jackson Dart's going to have to realize you are not a high school quarterback. You cannot play football in the NFL like you did in high school. You can't be dropping your shoulders on these corners and these safeties and linebackers thinking you're bigger and tougher than everybody else. Once he gets that out of his head, maybe he can be something in this league because he's got some talent. It all depends on once they get Jackson Dart to start playing like an NFL quarterback and not a high school quarterback.
I do like what they have outside of Malik Neighbors is Waddell Robertson. I think that kid went over 1,000 yards. He can be a very good complimentary number two to Malik Neighbors when he comes back. But what I do like is I think you got to bring in Todd Munkins. I think he has to be a package deal with John Harbaugh. The defensive coordinator, I think they clean house and bring in a defensive coordinator as well. I don't know who they lure over. You can't bring the guy from the Ravens over because he had one of the worst defenses in the NFL. I think they were in the bottom half of run defense and bottom half in pass defense. So, point scored they was probably middle of the pack, but they were giving up a lot of yards between the 20s, man. So John Harbaugh to New York is a home run, but now we can start seeing the Brian Flores, the Jesse Mentors, Kevin Stefanski's, the Mike McDaniels of the world that's looking for head coaching jobs. Maybe those guys can start getting into these other places. So we got out of 9, we got 1 down, 8 to go. So let's see how that goes, man. But wish the best of luck for John Harbaugh on his new journey because it's going to be a journey. It's going to be nothing that was going to be easy in the New York State.
And there's so many job openings. There's going to be some coaches that deserve head coaching opportunities. Is not going to get one. I guarantee you that there's some good coaches out there that I think they deserve to be get a head coaching job. But we'll see some. I think we're gonna see some retreads and maybe a couple of new guys. Mostly
I think,
retreads, I think.
but the crazy thing, I think it's going to be a lot of coaches that we're going to come out of nowhere. We're going to see
Well,
some
that's true too.
surprise coaching, and I just don't think it's certain teams that's out there like the Cleveland Browns or the Raiders or Tennessee can afford to go get a guy that's unknown. I think those three teams alone need to go get somebody like a John Harbaugh, like someone that has like a Mike McCarthy. I think those teams have to get somebody with some experience, not necessarily Super Bowl experience, but some experience in winning. Because those organizations cannot take a new guy coming in and all of a sudden think he's gonna be able to change the culture. I just don't think they have that atmosphere, at least with those three teams, and maybe even Arizona. I think those four teams need to get somebody that's a proven winner, man. What do you think about that, so?
Well, Joe, if let's say you bring a hot uh, young offensive coordinator that's never been a head coach before. Uh, he don't have any experience of being a head coach. Kind of like the Rams did when they brought in their young head coach years ago, the one that's one of the best coaches in the league. He brought in, what is the old Cowboys head coach name right now? Wade Phillips. He brought in Wade Phillips to be his defensive coordinator, and I'm pretty sure they had, hey, look here, man, I take care of the defense, you take care of the offense, so you figure out how to be a head coach. I can help you out with some of this stuff. I got some experience, so I think some of these teams might want to look at that. I got these young quarterbacks on my roster. I want to groom them the right way. Get the right coordinator in there at offense, and get you a veteran defensive guy that can just run the defense and see how that works.
See, the reason why, and I'm including the Jets too, but they already got a head coach. But what I'm saying is the reason why I say you can't do those things because they tried those things. As you can see, the Raiders have had 3 head coaches in 3 years, and all 3 of those head coaches outside of Pete Carroll were guys that had a lack of experience, and they come and try to change the culture when Raiders just don't have a winning culture. And then Arizona, they tried it. They went to get Kingsbury. He took them to the playoffs, and then they haven't seen the playoffs since. Cleveland, you already know, Kevin Stefanski did as much as he could with that Cleveland organization. I don't hate Kevin Stefanski. I think that he did what he could do with the organization, but that was about it. So, and then when you're looking with the Titans, the Titans got to sit here and watch the playoffs and watch their head coach someone else when he never should have got fired in the first place. Variable should have been one of those guys. He should have been a long tenure guy like a Harbaugh or a Mike Tomlin type of guy, but they got rid of him like they had options at the coaching position. But we'll see, man. We see how that stuff go.
Imagine, Jody, if the Titans brought in Brian Flores as their head coach, right? And let's say Mike McDaniels don't get a head coaching job, and you bring him in to run the offense. He can groom the young quarterback there and get that offense going. I think that would be a good mix of coaches there.
Absolutely. I mean, you can always now. That's a thing that you can see a lot of mixing and matching. Like I said, I like Jesse Mentor. I think a lot of people are sleeping on him. He's DC from the Chargers. I think that he at some point is definitely going to need a opportunity to be a head coach. But if he doesn't, do we go back to the Chargers and continue to DC over there, or do he go and try to explore something new? But it's going to be like Kevin Stefanski. I think he would be good if he came in as an offensive coordinator, not necessarily a head coach. But when you be a 2-time coach of the year with a Cleveland Brown organization, somebody is going to take him as a head coach. True. But I'm telling you, I don't think the Raiders is a good spot for him. Tennessee is not a good spot for him. And I definitely don't think the Titans are. He's going to have to get that. If Kevin Stefanski went to Atlanta or Miami, I think those places will be better fit for a guy like him. But we're gonna keep this thing moving. We're gonna keep this train moving. And we got the NFL playoffs. The divisional round is here. And we talked earlier before we got to this. We talked about Sam Darnold potentially having an oblique injury. He said it's not going to keep him out of action. And if that's the case, if it's not going to keep him out of action, my thing is why did you bring it up? Like, why is this headline news? If you're not going to miss football games, to me, it's like, okay, let me put this excuse in place just in case we do lose this game. And now I can lean back and be like, well, guys, look, man, look what happened. My oblique was messed up, man. So we'll see about that. But let's talk about the first game we got, man. And the first game we got here is the Bills traveling to Mile High Stadium to play against the Denver Broncos, man. And the Denver Broncos at home are the number 1 seed, and they are underdogs. Talk to me about that.
Well, the Broncos, they have a Super Bowl coach. He's won the Super Bowl back in the Saints years ago. Young quarterback, young old 6'7" quarterback, because he's not young. He's NFL young because he's only his second year. They got a good defense. Their defense sometimes head scratching. Sometimes I think they're really good, and then they give up a lot of points. I'm confused sometimes because Jacksonville put up a lot of points against them a few weeks ago, but they've won a lot of close games. I think they won Joe 8 one score games. Yeah. I mean, they won a whole bunch of them this year. That kind of makes me nervous. Is your luck going to run out? Experience going to come into play. The head coach can help you out with the play calling, but he's not on the field. Sean Payton is a great play caller. I'm just not sold on the quarterback yet. Now, I know the Bills' defense is not what it used to be, but the Broncos do not have a high-power running game. So now I do believe that the Buffalo Bills can cover their wide receivers. So I really, of course, I think Josh Allen he's all world, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think this is his year. I think Buffalo goes into Mile High Stadium and beats the Broncos.
This is the thing. The Broncos, I know it seemed like they helter-skelter. They say like, oh, the defense is tremendous. They had 64 sacks as a team. It was a 64 or 68, something like that. But I know it was very close to the all-time record. I think the all-time record is 72 or 73 sacks. But we know that Bo Nix have won a lot of close games this year. He is taking the place of Patrick Mahomes and being able to win close games. He has the highest QBR in the fourth quarter of any quarterback in the NFL. And I think Bo Nix is a guy that's not going to beat you at the end of the game. We saw the fourth quarter comebacks. Remember the most memorable ones against the New York Giants, where they were down, I believe, 4 scores in 7 years. Right? So, but I think that, losing J.K. Dobbins and still being able to have an effective running game is really good with Denver. Denver has a very solid offensive line. The Bills, that's what they struggle against. I think if Jacksonville would have ran the ball 60-70% of the game, I think Buffalo wouldn't even be here because they were running the ball, running and getting like 6 or 7 yards a pop. And let's not run the ball because let's do something else. I don't understand that. But to be at home, the number 1 seed and be an underdog is a smack in the goddamn face. The last time this happened, was the Philadelphia Eagles with Nick Foles at the quarterback position. That was the last time a number 1 seed, but they had an excuse because remember that was the year they won the Super Bowl, and the reason why they was underdog is because Carson Wentz was out of, and they didn't know what Nick Foles was going to be. But this is a team that's been a number 1 seed, got the best record in the AFC with a quarterback that's been in the playoffs last year, and this guy is still an underdog. It's crazy and disrespectful at the same time. I'm gonna lean towards Buffalo. Winning it. I mean, not Buffalo. I'm sorry. The Denver Broncos actually winning this game, man, because Patrick Surtain is the reigning defensive player of the year. He locks down one side of the field, and we know who is the receiver that's playing for Buffalo. So,
we know they're not known for wide receivers. I like you like this, Jody. They're known for their tight ends. That's their tight ends and their running game is the strength of this team. And Josh Allen, not being your prototypical quarterback, he's not going to just drop back and look down the field. He's going to scramble, and he got the tush-push thing going on. They got a lot going on in Buffalo. While they're underdogs, I'm telling you, man, a lot of people think the Buffalo Bills, this is their time to shine because they don't have your favorite quarterback to worry about this year. So I think they're thinking like the Bull, like Jordan retired. It's time for the Knicks to get to the finals. You know what I'm saying?
And guess what happened? They didn't win. Elijah stood in their way.
I know.
Twice.
Hey, Jody, you know what's crazy? There's a Houston team out there too. Got a chance to stop them also.
That's true. Donald said he think the Bills find a way to get the win in this game. Like I said, I'm gonna lean towards the Broncos, and we'll keep talking about this leading up into this particular matchup as well. So we're going to go, and we're just talking about this with Sam Darnold. We're going to go to another number 1 seed in the NFC where Sam Darnold has an oblique injury. Don't know how that happened. I don't know, man. Too much.
He's doing a lot of core.
A lot of core work. But now they playing against the 49ers, a team that was the last team that they played before the season was over. That's how they won the division. The 49ers coming off an epic victory on the road against the Eagles. Now they got to go on the road against their divisional rival. Talk to me about this game. Who wins it and why?
Division games are always crazy. The 40, I was wrong about them last week. I thought with the amount of injuries that they had, there's no way they were going to beat this Eagles team. Like we talked about, Joe, they got no pass rush. The wide receivers are a mass unit, and now they lost George Kittle. He tore his Achilles. He's going to be out for, of course, the playoffs and probably all the next year, like you said, Joe, the other day. Maybe his career. We don't know if he's going to ever come back from this. It's going to be very interesting to see with that because he's a great tight end. Hall of Famer?
Not quite. I don't think his body of work is there yet. At the
Very
tight
good
end.
tight end, though. Very good. But
Yeah,
I don't
it
know,
takes
Joe.
a lot to get in there.
It's going to be interesting. I would like to check the weather up there, see how the weather's going to be up there in the Great Northwest. You know, the weather gets crazy up there in Seattle. But I don't like Sam Darnold. I do not trust him in big moments. He's never come through in big moments for hardly any of his teams. He's got lucky quite a bit in his career and the records he had last year and this year. But I just think there's too many injuries for the 49ers, man. It's too much from them to overcome. And I do like this Seattle defense, which can lead them to a Super Bowl. So I'm going to go Seattle to win at home this week.
Donald said he was picking the 49ers even before the injury. I think the 49ers win whether Sam Darnold is healthy or not. This is one of those difficult situations where you got Brock Purdy, who has won his 5th playoff game, which ties him with the great, people call him the great Joe Burrow. This guy has as many playoff wins and as many championship appearances as Joe Burrow, but I digress. That's a whole nother conversation nobody wants to have. But anyway, the 49ers are banged up, but the person that is not banged up on the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey has been a guy that has played in almost every game this season. He has had more touches than any running back or player, I believe, in like the last 30 years. He with his receiving and his rushing. I think he's going to be a guy that don't give you a whole bunch of yards per carry, but he's a guy that you got to account for on every play because you don't know where they're going to line him up at. With Kittle's being gone, you might see him splitting out wide, and they run with your guy, Brian Robertson, and run 2 running backs. Have Brian Robertson in the backfield and split CMC out wide because he did catch over 100 passes, I believe, this year. But nevertheless, man, Seattle defense is on a mission, man, and they got the rookie safety that's been all over the field. I told you, Leonard Williams is having a spectacular season. Ernest Jones, man, how he didn't make the Pro Bowl is beyond me. Witherspoon at the cornerback position, Woolen at the cornerback position. They got edges that rush. Seattle's just gonna be too much for these guys, man.
Yeah.
I think Seattle wins this game. The running game, their 2-headed monster that they got. I just think that the Seattle Seahawks it wins this game. The 49ers injury train stops here, and it'll be a valid effort. Trust me, because Brock Purdy and CMC is not gonna just lay down. Jennings played fantastic. And you do got Trent Williams, who said he's going to come back for another season. He said he's not retiring. But I think they'll have a better run. Fred Warner was trying to get back in this game, but Fred Warner won't be back unless they win this game and they get to the NFC Championship game. But Fred Warner was trying to get on the field this week, but they listed him as doubtful for one more week, man. So we'll see about that. But, yeah, I got the Seattle Seahawks at home. I think they're going to be too much at home for those guys, man. So that's where we're going to lean towards. So let's go to the next matchup we got right here. We're going to go back to the AFC. And this one here is a battle of defenses that dominated their game. The Texans only giving up 6 points, and the Patriots only giving up 3 points in their previous matchup. So now they got to play each other. Neither one of them look very much polished offensively. But this is in Foxborough. Two young coaches, 2 young quarterbacks. You got CJ Stroud and you got Drake May in this matchup, man. So talk to me, who wins this game?
Both teams have been playing well. The Patriots defense really impressed me last week against the Chargers. They really put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. I like the Texans defense. All year I've been saying how good this defense was. What they did to Pittsburgh is not surprising at all. Pittsburgh's offense has been shaky all year. Even with DK Metcalf back from slapping the fan, I still think they were going to beat Pittsburgh anyway. But CJ Stroud, you got to play smart in this football game. You got to remember you got a great defense over there. Don't force the balls. Wow. Don't force the ball in the tight spots.
Sometimes you have to.
Don't do the flea flicker. Whoever the offense coordinator is, don't do that. If it's not there, take the sack and punt the football and let your defense get your short field. And their defense scored 2 touchdowns last week against Pittsburgh. But I like this Patriots offense, Drake May, who is an MVP candidate. I think he's a little too young. I don't think they're going to give it to him this year. He's going to have to wait a couple more years. But I like the way they're playing football. Their head coach got them playing some really good ball right now. But something about this Houston team, I think they're going to go on the road and beat the Patriots.
But you do know that Drake May had a couple turnovers himself in that.
He did.
And his defense bail him out too. So let's not just leave it to C.J. Stroud, even though he was fumbling and bumbling and stumbling in that game. But Drake May has some other difficulties as well. In this matchup, I think the Patriots are they just happy to be here at this point. They're way ahead of schedule of what they're supposed to be. And I'm not saying that Vrabel is happy with this, but we have seen Vrabel get to this level and then not be able to get it done against the Bengals. Remember, he got to this level against the Bengals, sacking Joe Burrow 9 times and still lost that game.
Wow, I remember that.
Yeah, and Joe Burrow found a way to win in that game. So I believe that the Texans defense travels, and they got too many All-Pros over there. Daniel Hunter, who made All-Pro but did not make the Pro Bowl, is still crazy work to me. Don't understand how that goes. You got Will Anderson. Will Anderson Jr. is an absolute monster off the edge. Rankins up the middle. You got Algier. This guy is a hard-hitting linebacker, and he got blessed with his first Pro Bowl. And then in that secondary, Petrie, man, we got to start considering Petrie one of the top safeties in the NFL, man. That guy comes up and he covers the run extremely well. And then we already know what Derek Stingley and Lassiter can do in that secondary, man. It's just going to be too much, man. Stephon Diggs is still choking out people, man. I don't know if he's ready to play football because he probably got his hands around some chick's neck. I'm joking. Let me stop. That was rude.
Allegedly.
So, yeah, I like the Houston Texans to win a close game because I trust C.J. Stroud that he won't make the same mistakes he made last week. I do trust that. C.J. Stroud has already won 3 playoff games in 3 years. So, I mean, I know people don't like numbers and don't like stats, but a fact is a fact. And I want somebody to stop me when I'm wrong. So when I'm wrong, say, hey, you're wrong. But do we got 3 playoff wins?
He got 3.
That's a fact. That's not hyperbole either.
If Houston wins this game, this would be the first time they've ever made the conference championship game. They've never been that far, so we'll see if they can find. I mean, we all know the Patriots got plenty of those.
Yeah,
we'll see if the Texans can finally get over the hump.
I want to say the Patriots got like 12.
Yeah, bro. I mean, even before Tom Brady, they've been to quite a bit of them. Even before he got there, they went to what, 1 Super Bowl before he got there?
2. Remember, they went in '85 and they went in
with Bledsoe. With Bledsoe.
Yeah, and then they went in '96, I believe.
Yeah,
95, 96. But you know what's funny? This is funny because in 1985, the year that they went, the New England Patriots had Steve Grogan and Tony Eason. They were splitting time at the quarterback position. And they beat, I believe Tony Eason actually started that game. They played the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins had just came off of historical year in '84, where Dan Marino lit everything up, threw for 4,800 yards back then. So the next year, everybody like, oh, damn, he going to do this. He going to get back to the Super Bowl. They end up losing to the 49. Oh, they'll be back. Well, that next year, this is what nobody wants to talk about. But that next year, Dan Marino played against New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game. And the New England Patriots beat him. And he threw, I believe, 2 interceptions in that game. And he had a very low passing percentage. But nobody ever wants to talk about Dan Marino low-key choking in the playoffs. Because that was the last time he had a chance to really get back to the Super Bowl, and he didn't. In that particular season, they were the only team to beat the Chicago Bears, the '85 Bear defense. Yeah. They were the only one that beat them on Monday night.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's crazy. Don't nobody like talking about that, but I do because I like history. So, but yeah. And speaking of the Bears, we got the Rams versus the Bears. I know you had already picked the Bears to go to the Super Bowl prior to the playoffs starting. But now they got to go against this Ram team that looked kind of shaky defensively. We were talking about all them studs they got on the defense side of the ball, but it seemed like Carolina didn't give a fuck. Talk to me about this game.
It's going to be an ugly football game. It has no choice. It's like 12 degrees in Chicago right now, probably 40-mile-per-hour wind. So, Jody, your favorite player, the field goal kicker, is going to struggle in this game. I think they might just go for 2 the whole game. I might not waste their time even trying the extra points or field goal. Let's just go for it because they're probably going to miss anyway if the wins are as bad as they said they're going to be. It's going to be a tough game for the Rams. Another road game for the Rams. The wide receiver, what's his name? I think it was his name. Not Puka, the other guy.
You talking about Devontae Adams?
Devontae Adams struggled his first game back from injury. He looked out of sync in that football game. Didn't do much. He dropped a couple of passes, which is abnormal for him. But Puka definitely picked up the slack. He looked great in that game against the Carolina Panthers. Did drop one, though, towards the end of the football game. But Matthew Stafford is a dog. He refused to let his team win that game, lose that football game. But I really like the way this Bears team is playing. I don't recommend they fall behind 2 or 3 scores against the Rams, though. I really don't. But then again, the Rams running backs have been known for fumbling also. We know Williams will put the ball on the ground. So all that being said, I'm gonna go the Bears. I believe in Caleb. I think he can get this done, and I think they move on to the conference championship game.
Donald said also, I think I made mention he picked the Texans. He also picked the Rams in this game.
Okay.
This is the issue that I got going in this game. The Bears cannot wait 3 quarters to say, "Oh, let's play football in the 4th quarter." You can get away with that. You've been getting away with it. You didn't get away with it against the 49ers, though. You remember they tried to do that. They tried to play that same style. They were scoring like you never played a slot machine, so and
Yeah.
that's how the game was when they played the 49ers. It was just like a ton of score. I think the final score was 42-38. But in this matchup right here, we got 2 good offenses, but I believe they become pedestrian in this weather. I don't think that the offense is going to be as dynamic, so you're going to have to lean on it. So now we got to ask the question. So which team has the better defense? Which team? We know the Bears are not very great defense, but they're great at turning you over. But now you're playing against a Matthew Stafford who only had 8 interceptions on the season. So that's where the chess match comes in. And I think, it comes McVay, Ben Johnson, you come to the coaching. Ben Johnson like to do a lot of trickery. I don't know if you want to do a lot of trickery against this round team. Like you said, I think the field goal kickers, we might as well keep the field goal kickers, might as well just stay at home. There's going to be a lot of 4th downs that's going to be going for. If it's fourth and 4 or less, both teams are going. Both teams are going for it, man.
Yeah.
But in this matchup, man, in my heart of hearts, I just think that Matthew Stafford, this is his opportunity to go out on top like John Elway did. Remember John Elway went out on top after winning 2 Super Bowls. I think if he can win this Super Bowl, I think that Matthew Stafford can not only win a Super Bowl, which will be his second, but he also can be a first ballot Hall of Famer if he does it, and he can go out because I think Matthew Stafford and win the MVP. But I think Matthew Stafford don't have a lot of years left in him. I think, remember, it was arguably that he was going to not play this year. Remember that because of his back. He didn't know if he was going to even be able to play this year. Remember, we were talking about that. He was talking about that. And he comes out and plays every game this year, and he's probably going to win the MVP. But I'm going to lean more towards the Rams in this game. But so, who has the advantage when it comes to the offensive line? Who has the better offensive line? Is it the Bears or the Rams?
I would say the Bears because honestly, Joey, I think the Bears are more of a running team than they actually are a passing. If you look at Caleb's numbers, Caleb he don't throw for 300-400 yard games. He'll have 180, 215, 250 sometimes. They really like to run the football. People they think of their head coach that came from Detroit. Oh, he tricks. He throws a lot of deep passes. No, he really likes running the football. So I really like the offensive line the Bears put out there. So I go with the Bears offensive line.
Okay, Eagles Philly said, I want the Bears to win. They got 3 people that's on the team that was from Philly, wide receiver, running back, and safety. In this matchup, I'm going to say the Rams have a better offensive line. We understand that there's 2 elements to an offensive line, and one is run and one is pass. Do the Bears have a better run offensive line? Perhaps, but you got to think about Kyron Williams is another guy that went over 1,000 yards with the Rams. I don't think people get as much pressure on Matthew Stafford on their offensive line. They're very underrated. I don't think a lot of people talk about the offensive line when we talk about the Rams. But let's go to the quarterback. Who has the advantage at the quarterback position?
Definitely Matthew Stafford. I mean, veteran, has been to Super Bowl, had a lot of great years in Detroit. There's not just a bad team around him, and now he's been dominating with the Rams. So definitely Matthew Stafford.
I'm gonna agree this particular season, but I don't want to bet against Caleb Williams in the 4th quarter. I mean, he's been down as many as 19 points going into a 4th quarter and still came out victorious. And that goes back to the Rams. You have to run the football. If you get up on this Bear team, you're gonna have to solidify the running game, and you have to actually you're gonna have to have your running backs average more than 4.5 yards to carry in this matchup for you to beat those guys. Also, let's go to the next phase. Who has the advantage at the tight end position, the Rams or the Bears?
Oh, that's a good one, Jody, because the Rams have – damn, I know you like this question. The Rams have great tight ends, and they use him well. But the Bears definitely, I'm shocked that at the tight end that the Bears drafted from Michigan. I didn't think he was going to be as good as he is. I thought they was going to draft a guy from Penn State, but I was wrong. This guy really fits this offense, and they were gelling well. But I'm going to go Bears.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I think the Bears, Loveland. I can't believe I'm giving a Michigan guy some
He's
credit.
playing well, bro.
He's actually their go-to guy, and he basically shredded the Green Bay defense. I was watching the game, and I said, you can't keep putting Walker one-on-one with him. He's going to lose that. Then if you put a safety on him, then they run the ball. So it's like it was a chess match that people really that don't really watch the game like that. They didn't see the chess match that was being played with Ben Johnson and LaFleur, where they was trying to figure out ways to, okay, if I put Walker on him and they run the ball, we got the advantage. But if they send him out in the pass, he's gonna dominate Walker. And Walker is a good linebacker, but he's not as good in coverage. And I think he caught for like 115 yards receiving plus in that game. So I will give the nod to the Bears, but don't sleep on the tight ends that the Rams have.
Yeah.
Now this is the question here: the wide receiver core as a whole, who has the advantage on or the Rams or the Bears at the wide receiver position?
Oh, I'll definitely gotta go Rams. Puka alone puts him over the top. I'm going Rams.
Yeah, this is kind of easy, but it's not as easy because if you look at Luther Burton for the Bears,
he's been playing well.
He's been playing extremely well, and his win rates on getting open is top 5 in the NFL. It's just he hasn't played as many snaps as these other guys. And then you got Roma Dunze, who is was the leading receiver, but he missed 6 games. So he still caught over 600 yards, missing 6 games. So he was probably on pace to go over 1,000. So you got Devontae Adams, who as you just stated, he did not look that good in his first game back.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So Devontae Adams, is he completely healthy? They don't go to Atwater as much as I thought they would. So I'm still going to get a nod to the Rams because Puka Nacua is probably going to be the offensive player of the year.
Yeah.
That's the reason. But if you look at it from top to bottom, the Bears ain't no slouches on catching the ball. So let's go to the defensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball, who has the advantage on the defensive line, the Rams or the Bears?
Oh, I'm definitely going Rams.
Why?
I think they put more pressure on the quarterback than the Bears do. The Bears secondary is better. I like the Rams defensive line better than I do the Bears.
Now in the playoffs, what I seen out of the last game, I might have to go with the Bears over the Rams because they didn't get really any pressure in Bryce Young's face. Pause. They didn't put the pressure that they were doing during the regular season. The Bears was making in the fourth quarter when it counted, was making, even though they wasn't sacking Jordan Love, they were making him uncomfortable in the fourth quarter. But if you're looking from a standpoint, if I'm going to put my money on it, I'm going to agree with you. I think the Rams, Jared versus Young, those guys up front, those young edge rushers, those young D tackles, put a lot of pressure on the quarterback during the regular season. But let's see if they can do it in the playoffs. So, okay, I agree. We can go with the Rams. Now, the linebackers position, who do you give the advantage to? Linebackers, the Bears or the Rams?
The Bears lost one of their linebackers for the season. I think he broke his ankle. Anytime they put the air cast on your leg,
Edwards.
Every time they put that air cast on your leg, it's not a good thing. So I'm gonna go the Rams linebacker core over the Bears. I'm more healthy right now.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you because I believe Edmond alone should have
been playing well.
This guy has 4 to 5 interceptions at the linebacker position, and he can play in the coverage. So he's one of those every down linebackers that you don't have to take out the game when you go to a nickel situation because he can cover the tight end well. So I think I will give a nod slightly to the Bears at the linebacker position because the versatility of Edmonds. I think that he's a prime time at that position. Now losing TJ Edwards is going to be monumental to that defense because he was like one of you want to say the heart and soul of a defense. This guy was one of the guys that always flew to the ball. But I'm gonna give a slight advantage because the Rams, their linebackers ain't been playing that well the last 7 games of the season. I'm gonna go with the Bears now. Now let's go secondary.
Yes.
Who do you think has the advantage with the secondary?
I'm gonna go Bears because they create more turnovers than the Rams secondary does. They're very Yeah, I really like their secondary. They fly to the ball. They create turnovers, a lot of interceptions. So I'm gonna go with the Bears secondary over the Rams.
I'm agree because when they got Jalen Johnson back, that solidified it for me. This is a guy that's a top 10 cornerback in the NFL,
Yeah.
but he missed a lot of time early on, which gave guys like Wright an opportunity to get in the lineup that wouldn't have probably normally got in the lineup. And then hey, what's up, Asia in the building? We got Jay Kane in the building as well.
What up?
Remember when they had the guy that his job basically was taken away from him after the Commander game when he was waving at the crowd,
Yeah,
Steven?
yeah.
Remember, he was waving at the crowd. That was the last time that we really, because he was very promising because he was a
Yeah.
cornerback out of the U, and he was very promising. And after that game, I think he fell out of he got in the doghouse with the Bears after that game, and rightfully so. So my thing is, I think that the Rams have some young talent out there, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bears secondary because they cause a lot of turnovers. If you think about it, they cause a lot of turnover with Byers. I think he led the NFL in interceptions at the safety position. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams. Don't they got Gardner Johnson?
Yeah. Yeah, with the Bears right now.
He a menace. He
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
he's always.
It seemed like he wears out his welcome at places real quick. Because he was with Houston just last year and they cut him during the season.
No, they had him. The Texans had him this year.
Yeah, you're right. That was this year. He was with Philly last year. Philly cut him.
So but where he goes, they seem like teams win. Maybe Cleveland should have picked him up. Shit. So now we go to the special teams, which is going to be a key element in this game because you said the wind is going to be blowing very hard. It's Soldier Field. It's the Windy City for a reason, man. Who has a advantage on the kicker and punter situation?
Ooh, wow. Well, the Bears kickers usually kicking in the elements. That's got to be an advantage for the home team, punter and field goal kicker. And I'm giving the punt return and kick return also the advantage to the Bears. I'm gonna go Bears.
Bears.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean a little bit towards the Rams. I think the Rams. No, I take that back. I'm going Bears. The Rams had a debacle in their special teams, man. I think that they had some issues. The Bears ain't been playing that great special teams either. But if I'm gonna pick the best of the worst, I guess I got to go with the Bears. There's gonna be a lot of missed field goals in that game.
We say that I got to pick the lesser of two evils, right, Joe?
You got to pick the lesser two evils, and also far as I think even for punting, it's gonna be difficult with that wind blowing. So it's gonna be key. I know a lot of people out there, listen against the grain sports. It's gonna be key who gets the wind to their back. So I think a lot. What's up, King Minks in the building? What's going on, my guy? Asia said, "Tell Miss Glenn." She said hello as well.
All right, I'll let her know.
But yeah, I just think that's going to be key when they do the coin toss. And your captain, if I'm the head coach, I'm talking to my captain to make sure in the fourth quarter we got the win to our back. I don't care what it takes. I don't care who get the ball first. I don't care who gets it coming out of halftime. In a game like this, I know a lot of people don't really talk about this stuff, but against the Grand Sports, we do. In the fourth quarter, in a windy city, you want the win to your back. I don't care who gets the ball first. I don't know who get the ball after halftime. That's why you got a defense. But you want the win to your back so you can potentially kick a longer field goal if necessary, because we know this game is going to be close.
Hey, Joe, did you see the coin toss between Army and Navy when Trump flipped the coin? Well, didn't flip it. He was supposed to flip the coin, but it just went straight up and came down. He didn't flip it at all.
No, I didn't see that.
He was supposed, he's supposed to, when you do the coin toss, he's supposed to flip it, he's supposed to turn. He just went straight up and came right down.
First of all, you get what the fuck you get when you let Donald Trump do a coin toss, man. I don't know why.
Man.
I don't know, man. Donald Trump got enough going on. He got enough on his plate.
Man. You're not lying about that, brother.
He our commander-in-chief, and we got to go with it. I know we can complain about it for 4 years or however long he's going to be in office, because he's trying to do another 4 years, even though he already did 4 years.
He trying to change the rules as we go.
Knowing him, he'll probably try to change it so it can benefit him. But nevertheless, man, we just got to believe in our government. I know it sounds. I gotta worry about what's going on right here in Dayton, Ohio. So
I hear you.
We got to trust him to do what he's gonna do. But that's another whole. I don't get into all this the Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah,
guess what? That's what divides us. We all need to be on the same team. Why are we fighting against each other? We
Joe,
created our own enemy.
we've turned into the parties have turned into gang members. It's like whatever the Republicans say, I have to stick with it, even if they're wrong, and vice versa. It's like, how do we get to this point in our country? Is very sad. We got people hating each other because who they voted for.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's crazy, man. That we've got to that point, bro.
So I don't get into that. I mean, you vote for who you vote for. You do what you do, man. We just, hey, at the end of the day, we all need Christ.
Yes, sir.
I don't care where you're from, who the president is. I don't care if you're from the Midwest. I don't care if you're from Pluto. Yep. We need Christ. We need Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir.
But I'm sorry if you don't talk religion, but I mean, I do. So no disrespect to you guys that don't. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Last question I got for this game. Who has the advantage at the head coaching position? Ben Johnson or Sean McDermott?
I'm Sean McVay. Sean McDermott's gonna get fired. Anyway, I'm gonna go.
How you gonna get fired? And you got him
beating He's going to the Super Bowl, dog. I'm sorry. He's going to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna take that back. Anyway, I gotta go with Sean McVay. Super Bowl victory just seemed like just not too long ago. Been to 2 Super Bowls as a head coach. Young, old coach. You know what I mean? He's been around a long time, but he's still young. So I'm gonna go Sean McVay over the young guy, Ben Johnson.
I'm gonna definitely go Sean McVay. I think that Ben Johnson sometimes he's so wrapped up. I think his Super Bowl, to be honest, was beating the Green Bay Packers, where I guess he has a problem with Matt LaFleur. I don't think they
don't like each other.
I don't think they look eye to eye. I think everybody talking about the handshake, which I don't have a problem with. I mean, just because I don't have to fucking like you, but I think that it was some points in that game that Ben Johnson almost smoked that motherfucker against the Packers. He almost trying to still be too cute. Remember, he smoked the game against y'all when he had the Detroit on that offense. King Meek said he got McVay as well. I just think that McVay is more clutch. And he seemed to his demeanor never changes. Even when it didn't even look like he was nervous on that last drive when they had the ball and they went down to score with Matthew Stafford. And he wasn't even nervous with his defense. He knew his defense was going to get it done. So I say McVay, man. Right now, McVay is the top 3 coach in the NFL right now.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Top 3 coach. I mean, Andy Reid is probably the best. Now with the Harbaugh and Tomlin out of it, well, Harbaugh's coming back, but I got Andy Reid, McVay. Man, who else would you put up in there? Who else as a head coach? And we can't. I mean, Sean McDermott. I know you're not a big fan of him, but don't you got to really?
Oh, you got to put Kyle Shanahan up there too.
Kyle Shanahan. What about What about DeMeco Ryans? The DeMeco Ryans.
DeMeco Ryans, like you said, Joe. He's been to the playoffs every year. He's been there. You got to put him in there. You got to put. He's moving up that list also, doing a great job in Houston.
Where do you put LaFleur at? Where is LaFleur right now?
Man, he's underachieved every year. He's still top 10.
Okay, what about Dan Campbell?
I don't know if Dan Campbell is such a great coach without good offensive coordinator. Same issue I have with the Eagles head coach. I think he's got to have the right coordinators in order for him to make him look good. And I think that was the problem with the Lions this year. So I don't know if Dan Campbell is such a great coach.
And I was just about to ask you about the Eagles head coach. What do you think about him?
Great record. Won a Super Bowl. I'm like you, Joe. He seemed like an asshole. I wouldn't want to hang out with this dude. You know what I mean? Like,
you want to punch him in the face?
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't want to hang out with this dude. He's arrogant. I don't know. I don't really care for that guy. Maybe if I was an Eagles fan, maybe I'll be cool with. I don't know.
But see, the Eagles fans are one of them fans that they'll be cool with him right now, but as soon as he get fired, they're gonna be egging his car. Like,
oh yeah,
on his way out the stadium. So yeah, if you look at, I mean, you got guys like Todd Bowles who's been in the playoffs. I'm not really a big fan of Todd Bowles. Wow, I mean, you got, what about McDonald? He's too young to know. He's the coach with Seattle. He's too young to know if he's a good coach or not. I mean, he just got him to the playoffs this year. You got a lot of young coaches in there. Vrabel is a young coach. Sean Payton, where do you put Sean Payton at right now?
Oh, Sean Payton definitely top 7 in the NFL right now. He's done miracles with that young team that he's got over there. He's done a great job. Turn them around real quick after they ate all that salary money after getting rid of Russell Wilson, and they turned around real quick. Got them playing some good football. Number one seed in the AFC, definitely he's up there.
What do you think about Jim Harbaugh?
Jim Harbaugh I think he's a great football coach. I think they're missing a few things on that roster. They had a lot of injuries on their offensive line this year. I think if their offensive line was healthy, they probably could have beat Patriots, or maybe have a higher seed if they'd have been healthier. So I think he's a great coach.
King Minks like Liam Cohen's.
He did a good job
over there with the Jaguars.
A lot of good rookie coaches.
This nigga said the Bengals head coach. What? King Minks?
Hey, Jody, he's the most tenured coach in the AFC North.
That shit don't even sound right.
Don't even
fucking, unless it was Sam Weiss. Now, if it was Sam Weiss, the guy that hated Cleveland, I remember Sam Weiss got on TV and said, Cleveland, they weren't even playing Cleveland. And I guess they were throwing batteries on the field or something like that.
They weren't playing Cleveland that game?
No, they wasn't playing Cleveland. They were playing somebody else. And he said, this is not Cleveland. This is Cincinnati. I'm like, damn, we ain't even playing y'all. But that's the energy that Cleveland, Cincinnati used to have. Like Sam Weiss was, I don't know who they were playing, but they wasn't playing the Browns. He said he got jokes. Yeah, that's a damn funny joke talking about Zach Taylor. But yeah, I mean, I hope we didn't. The Cowboys coach is a new coach, so we really can't talk about him.
He did a good job his rookie year, though. The Cowboys head coach, he did a good job. The defense was just terrible, but their offense was on fire.
What about your boy Dan Quinn? What do you like about Dan Quinn?
They had a lot of injuries this year. He's been to a Super Bowl as a head coach. I think he's doing a good job. Depends on how he does with these coordinators. They already hired the offensive coordinator. They just moved to somebody that was already on the staff. They got to figure out what they're going to do at DC right now. We'll see.
Yeah, and they got to get rid of some of those older players.
They got too many old players.
Many old players. What about your guy? We don't talk too much about. We talk about a lot of rookie head coaches, but we don't talk about Kellen Moore. What he did in the second half of the season with the New Orleans Saints. Kellen Moore has flew up under the radar. Everybody thought that the Saints would probably win 2 games. Everybody thought the Saints was going to be the number 1 pick, but they end up finishing really strong. What do you think about Kellen Moore, the job that he's done down there with New Orleans in his rookie year?
I bet the Eagles wish they still had him coaching their offense right now. Like I said, Joe, during the whole offseason, we cracked so many jokes about the Saints. Who's this guy they're drafting? This quarterback ain't going to do nothing. This head coach, he don't know what he's getting himself into. Some bitch won 6 games. Jody, was he 2 games out of winning the division?
Yeah.
So him in 6 games, that roster, very impressive.
If they would have started him at the beginning and not started to-be version of Patrick Mahomes and Spencer Rattler, I know that they had a quarterback competition, but Spencer Rattler was only in his second year, so it wasn't like you had, he beat him out because of experience.
Yeah.
And I do believe that Tyler Shaw was older in years than Spencer Rattler.
Yeah.
I think he was. But, I mean, we got to hats off. I know he won't win Coach of the Year, but he got to get a couple votes.
He did a great job, bro.
That roster was depleted.
Yeah.
They got a lot of old guys. If you look at what they got with Cam Hayward in his 15th year, you got to think about what they did with Demario Davis, who was one of the most underrated linebackers, but he's 33 years old. They got rid of Lattimore last year. And what people don't know with New Orleans, if you look at the last 8 drafts, they done picked the offensive lineman 4 times out of the first round, and they still are looking for offensive linemen. So they need to get some guys that down there that's going to develop some of these offensive linemen, because you can't keep picking offensive linemen in the first round, and then this year they looking to pick another offensive lineman in the first round. You got to get some position players, and I think that they need another wide receiver on the other side of Chris Olave, because we know his health is all. He's 1 hit away from him saying he's gonna call it quits though. King Ming said, Jody, what about Daniel Jones coaching? Oh, he's talking about the coach up there with the Colts.
The one they got from the Philly. He came from Philly.
Yeah, Shane
Steichen?
Steichen, yeah.
Yeah.
Shane Steichen.
The jury's still out on him.
I think that Frank Wright should have kept his job up there.
If you want to
be real. I think Frank Wright got a raw deal, because Frank Wright, the reason why he got fired is, remember, they went into the last week of the season and they could have made the playoffs, and they lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars, I believe.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I think to get fired because of that is crazy work. He really didn't have a quarterback. He was playing with, I think he had Phillip Rivers. I want to say he had Phillip Rivers at quarterback. I don't think that was fair. Phillip Rivers in his 80th year. And then you got this quarterback, this coach, to go get Phillip Rivers again. that to me, that's an indictment on him because you really thought Phillip Rivers was going to take you to the promised land. So coaches got to be held responsible for some things, right? And can I say that? Can we say that some coaches need to be held responsible?
Yes, but
Steichen has to.
can you blame the coach for them bringing Phillip Rivers in? I think that new owner with their owner passed away. I think in the offseason, maybe beginning of this year. Can't think of his
Yeah, I
name
think it
right
was
now.
off season. It was off season.
His
Yeah.
daughter was running the football team. I don't know if you know that she was
Yeah.
running the team. I think she probably had a lot with bringing back Phillip Rivers.
But my thing is, did you see how good that Riley Leonard looked in that last game?
He looked great.
So you telling me you the coach and you seen how well he was playing, and then you say, hey, let's still go get a guy that been retired for 5 years. Like, come on, man. Like that's gotta be. I understand that she's calling the shots, but you got to tell her like, hey, listen, I know you own this team now, but bringing Phillip Rivers in when we got this kid Riley Leonard that was just in the championship game in college just a year ago. He was just in the championship game a year ago and almost brought them back against the Ohio State Buckeyes. To tell me that you're not going to play him, come on, so. Now I understand Anthony Richardson's situation. I understand they lost Daniel Jones, but don't that have to fall back on the head coach at some point?
I don't know, Joey, because I don't know. I would love to be in a meeting with these owners and some of these coaches have conversations because I'm pretty sure every owner coach dynamic is different. Maybe they have the attitude of the Ravens coach. This is my fucking team. You don't tell me what to do. I write the checks around here. So if I want to bring back the ghost of Johnny Unitas, I can bring Johnny Unitas back if I want to. So I don't know. It depends on how much power does the coach really have? Does he have any say so? Is he a puppet like most of the Cowboy head coaches, and he's done what he's told? I don't know.
I mean, like I said, I get it. I just personally. I got an issue with it personally.
Yeah, I understand that.
You know what I'm saying? And I think Steichens will get another year up there. But if you don't, why it just seems like certain coaches got a lot of rope and other coaches don't? Because I think Frank Wright, then he goes to Carolina and they get a new owner and then they get rid of him mid-season. Like, come on, bro. Like, y'all got to let these coaches at least get their feet. Like, what they did with Antonio Pierce, his name, Antonio Pierce?
Yeah.
Antonio Pierce, what they did with Gerard Mayo, what they did with Frank Wright, some of these young coaches that didn't even stand a chance. Like you let these guys at least implement their culture into this organization. Like I don't have a problem with the Giants letting Dabo stay for as long as he did, even though I've put him on a hot seat. At least we're gonna make sure that he's not the guy in New York. They gave him ample amount of time to figure out if he was the guy or not. So I think that I know every organization want to do what they got to do because you don't want to keep being a losing organization. But right now, the ghost of Al Davis is like, if you can't get fucking John Madden, the spirit of John Madden up here, do something. 3 coaches in 3 years is just unapplicable decision making. And then you got Tom Brady on your roster where Tom Brady can make decisions. But real quick, Donald said New Orleans really have to draft because they are in cap hell. I don't know how long it will take to get back in good standings with the cap to be able to sign some players. And he said Zaire Franklin said Rivers really came back for insurance, and Rivers wasn't really wasn't there mentally at all. They said that it would be in the game plan meeting and even in the locker room before the game on the phone with the school principal stuff about high school teams and his coaches. Wow. Hold on. Let's talk about that. Now I heard this was a rumor, and of course, if Franklin is a teammate of him. Now you know that after a certain amount of time after players retire, they lose insurance, and you know Phillip Rivers had another baby.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. Like, are we gonna see more of that, guys? That because I think he has 10 kids or 11 kids.
Yeah, 10 or 11.
But this guy's a multi-millionaire that made over, I believe, over $150 million at the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
And you're coming back to football, risking your life. I hope you got a good insurance policy because anything could happen on that field. Talk to me about this, where he came back for insurance purposes.
I don't think it. I think that's just a coincidence. I don't think he came back for the insurance. Like you said, I'm assuming. Have you seen how Phillip Rivers dresses? He doesn't spend a lot of money. I'm pretty sure this man probably got $30-40 million in the bank. I don't think he came back for insurance purposes. He buys his clothes at Walmart. It's obvious. He might spend a lot of money on his cowboy boots and those bolo ties. What they call them bolo ties. He used to wear it with the strings. Maybe that. Other than that, he don't spend a lot of money. I'm assuming it's just maybe he's close because apparently the head coach and him have history, and the owner, the daughter, they all have history. Maybe they brought him back, which was weird. I mean, like you said, being out 5 years, I don't think he came back for insurance. It's just funny thinking that though.
Let me ask you this: do you think there's a possibility with him retiring? Aaron Rodgers probably gonna retire. Both of them getting in the Hall of Fame in the same year.
No, I don't think Phillip Rivers getting in right away anyway. So we all know Aaron Rodgers, when he does announce his retirement, might be 3 years from now. He might be holding on to this shit, that rope not letting go. Still think he can still play. But no, I don't. I think if Aaron Rodgers does announce retirement, I don't think him and Phillip Rivers going at the same time. I think Phillip going to still have to wait.
Think about it. It'd be a hell of a class. Think about it. It'll be Aaron Rodgers if he call it quits. Adrian Peterson just this year officially retired.
Yeah.
You will have Phillip Rivers, who, it'll be, I think they would probably let him in because of what he just did, something that has never been done. Just him coming back. Did he win? He won a game when he came back, didn't he? No,
they lost their game. He played well at the Seattle game when we thought he was going to die in that Seattle game. He actually played pretty decent.
So I think with just the nostalgia of what he did, I think it's going to get him in the Hall. But it'd be a hell of a class because all three of those guys are available to get into the Hall of Fame. So that's you got. I mean, just thought process.
Yeah. I'm worried about my guy Adrian Peterson, man. He had a lot of issues the last couple of years.
But
getting arrested and getting beat up in the boxing ring, and it's just a lot going on. I hope he's doing all right.
Shit, he got beat up gambling too.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. It's obvious he got muscles, but he can't fight because he been getting beat up by regular dudes.
I'm gonna tell you something before we get to the college football. I'm gonna tell you something real quick. I was at the Super Bowl. Me and Ray was out the Super Bowl in Vegas. So when you go back to the media day, you go back there, you talk about, you talk to players, you talk to former players, whatnot. And I went out to get a bite to eat, and I was coming back in there, but they told everybody we had to wait. I'm like, why we gotta wait? Like everybody, they're like, hey, stand back. Adrian Peterson came with all these bodyguards. Now we talking about Patrick Willis walking in there. This is before he made the Hall of Fame. We seen old players, Michael Irvin, all these greats that are already in the Hall of Fame. They didn't have no security. This dude has security, Adrian Peterson. Who was gonna do something to you at an event that's heavily security already, and you had your own security, bro?
Well, that's why now we know why he has money issues. He's been having issues with money. Man, come on, bro. Like you said, you in the NFL event. If anything, people gonna be asking you for your autograph or take a picture with you. That'd be the only thing you'd have to worry about.
He didn't even let nobody get close enough to get a picture or anything. With everybody else was so friendly. Like as you can see, I talked to a lot of the players out there, a lot of guys in the media. But this dude was acting like he was like, bro, really? You came in here with security? We got Peyton Manning was there, Eli Manning was there, Gronkowski was there, and you had security, bro. Stop it, man, stop it. That's a true story. This ain't propaganda. It's a true story. And for anybody that's out there, I already got my badge. Oh, here it is. I got my Super Bowl badge up there, but I'll pull it out another day. Y'all know I was there. But yeah, man, let's talk about this. So we got a couple days left. We're talking about the battle. To be honest, it's not a lot of media play. There's not a lot of bulletin board talk. Normally, there's a lot of bulletin board talk. But between these two teams, they keeping close to the vest. There's no sound bites. I haven't heard anybody say anything out the way talking about the game. And is it going to live up to? Because it's not let's be real. Let's be real. There's not a lot of hype in this game. And why is that?
Well, because Indiana's a really good team, but they're kind of boring. They don't bring any sexiness to the game. They're kind of like the Spurs were back in the day. They would show up, do their job, kick your ass, and go home with the championship. They're kind of like that's Indiana. They don't have flashy players. They just show up. The quarterback is straight laced. Now Miami, they got a little sex appeal to them on and off the field. You got Mike Irvin on the sidelines. Sugar Ray over there doing their thing. All those Miami greats. Indiana don't have any great legends. Oh,
They
Trent
got
Green.
they got Tracy Porter. They got the
Trent
interception.
Green. Trent
Remember
Green
they
went there, right?
Trent Green, but remember they got Tracy Porter. They got the interception in the Super Bowl against.
Yeah, but those guys are not recognizable. They could walk by you in the store and not know who they are. But we
True.
know these Miami Hurricane greats. Man, why them brothers in Miami like to wear white pants all the time? I think that's weird.
I think because
You
of the
see,
weather.
you see Edwin James at the last game. That brother, I told my wife, I've never owned a pair of white jeans. I don't think I've ever bought owned a pair of white jeans.
But we so we can both agree that this is. I'm really scared for the ratings, honestly. Because I mean, honestly, if Indiana loses this game, nobody. I think it's just gonna be okay. Indiana lost. Okay, let's move on to the next season. Miami wins. Okay, the U is back. All this. I just don't believe if they had a different quarterback or, like I said, different players. Because, like you just said, so they don't have a Ray Lewis on this team. They don't have a Warren Sapp on this team. They don't have a Santana Moss on this team. Guys, they definitely don't have the Michael Irvins, the Brett Perrymans, they don't have the Jerome Browns. Ain't nobody on this team that I haven't even never heard Ruben Bain talk. You know what I mean? And he's probably gonna be the highest drafted player on their team. And Mazador, he's gonna be another guy that's gonna be highly drafted. But the one that doing the most chomping and the most talking is Fletcher at the running back position. And this kid didn't even go over 1,000 yards yet. So talk to me about this one, man. Like, what are the dynamics of this game that we got to look for?
The dynamics is the Indiana Hoosiers know who they are going into this football game. They're probably at least two teams. They're the best coached football team. Very disciplined. So you know what you're gonna get when you get Indiana. They're gonna run the ball well. They're not gonna turn the ball over. Quarterback is gonna be solid, and their defense is gonna kick you in your ass. And can you deal with that the whole game? I mean, look at the last game they played against Oregon. First defensive play, pick 6. Oh shit, this is what we got to deal with. So can Miami weather that storm? Because it's going to happen to them also. But can they fight through it and score enough points to hang with Indiana? Because Indiana's been putting up a lot of points. I know Miami's got a solid defense, but that Indiana offense, man, is a machine right now. It's going to be very difficult for Miami to slow them down. I don't know if Miami going to be able to score enough points because you know that Indiana defense is solid too. I don't know, man. It's going to be a good football game, but I do have Indiana winning though.
The crazy thing is, man, I just think Indiana having no 5 stars on their roster. Everybody is a lunch pail kind of guy. The coach, as much as he talks, I think he talks to deflect all the attention from his players onto him. That's why he does all this Google me stuff. I don't think he's that type of guy. I think if you probably met him and sat down and had a beer with him, I think he would be a very humble guy. I think he has to come out with this persona to take the allure off of his players because he doesn't have any highly rated recruited guys on his team. So I think he will start getting those highly recruited guys as of next year. I bet he get a 5-star next year.
They're already starting to get them, bro.
Yeah. So he can't keep living through the transfer portal. I think he can't keep. He's going to get another quarterback that they got. They got 2 guys, major guys. They got the quarterback Josh Hoover from TCU, and they got the wide receiver Nick Marsh from Michigan State. So they just got 2 major transfer portal guys. But I think that Indiana wins this game, and I think that a lot of guys that you won't even know their name. Fisher on defense, Pines on defense. I mean, they got some guys on defense, but you won't, like you said, you won't know any of these guys because they play so good as a collective group. Miami, they can't keep running the ball every play. They can't run the ball every play.
Not against Indiana.
And they're not going to be able to do this wide receiver screen to Malachi Tony, which I believe is the best player on their offense. They can't keep running wide receiver screens every play. I don't know how Ole Miss and Ohio State kept letting them run wide receiver screen. Look, if you're going to see the wide, then what you need to do is do what Miami did to Ohio State and had those cornerbacks shooting up the field to take that play away. They ran the wide receiver screen so many times against Ole Miss. I said, God damn, who the fuck is – like, y'all don't see that they keep running a fucking wide receiver screen?
Yeah.
Why don't you put 2 high safety, run a cover 2, make the tight ends beat them instead of letting those guys on the outside beat you. Run a cover 2 and have your corners press. So when they run the wide receiver screen, you can get up there, at least make the tackle.
Yeah.
But I'm no coach. I'm no coach, so I don't know.
Some things are obvious, Jody. Hey, they're running the same play. We might want to stop this or make them change up what they're doing. Hey, we're not gonna let you run this play on us the whole game.
Bro, listen, all they had to do was run a tough cover 2 shell, put 2 high safeties if the guys went deep, so they won't nobody be one-on-one. And then if they decide to run the ball, I know they wanted somebody you just run. You got to trust your 4 guys on the back end to make plays out there. And if they want to run the football, you make adjustments as you go. But you can't let Malachi Tony catch every other play, catch a fucking behind the sticks catch, and he take it for a touchdown. You just like Ole Miss got what they was gonna get. And I think that's where the overwhelming coaching decision when your defensive coordinator is your head coach, when he should have been calling the defense. And that's why I go back to Lane Kiffin meaning so much to them, because now you're taking a guy that could have focused in on the defense. He had to focus in on everything. What do you think about that?
You mean the Ole Miss not adjusting to that? Ole Miss, their issue all year has been their defense. We all knew they could score and put up points. Their defense has been their issue all year. Like you said, Jody, they never adjusted to that. You would think, why are they looking at these tablets on the sidelines? They keep running that same play. We might want to do something about that. You think they might have made a change, but they didn't do that. Was very odd to me. But Jody, I was watching somebody here in San Antonio. They have the high school All-American game. One, they get many of them all over the country, but they have a lot of the 4- and 5-star players all over the country. They come here every year and play at the Alamo Dome, and they make their announcements during the game. And Indiana's getting a lot of 4- and 5 stars. Now we'll see how they do moving forward with the target on your back. When they got the scope on you, you can't play that underdog role anymore when you start to get these 4- and 5 stars. We'll see how the coaching and everything goes when everyone's coming for your neck.
I like that because I didn't really see that. But Donald said Indiana plan is just letting guys go to the other places and then waiting until they are old and get them in the portal. They believe that by time 2- and 3-star guys are 23 years old, they'll be better than other schools 4- and 5 stars that are 19 and 20. But how long can you remember? You see it in college basketball. Rick Pitino tried to do that at St. John's. He got away with it last year, but he's not getting away with it this year with that formula. Deion Sanders out at Colorado was able to do it. He's not doing so much with it this year. So I mean, it's cool that the portal you can get guys, you can change the culture in 1 year with some transfer portal guys. Look at how many guys are leaving Penn State to come down to Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is loaded with guys from Penn State.
Yeah.
Tennessee must got a new head coach. I think I'm joking. They still got Josh Heupel down there, but they have been getting a lot of guys from Penn State. So I don't know if it's somebody from Penn State, maybe the offensive defensive coordinator or somebody linebacker coach or something that went over to Tennessee, because they're getting a lot of guys off of the Penn State team. So Penn State is getting a mass exodus of players from their organization that's going to different places across the country. So a majority of them are going to Tennessee and going to Virginia Tech for some odd reason. But nevertheless, man, and they're not getting a lot of guys back. That's the thing. They're not getting a lot of guys back in the portal. So Penn State gonna have their work cut out for them in this offseason to try to figure out. Their quarterback even left. The quarterback that they had, Gronkowski, he went to Vitek. So I'm like, damn. Everybody left and went to Vitek following James Franklin, and you're gonna look up and say, "Damn, we should have kept James Franklin." Like shit, if all our players gonna go down, I still think James Franklin got a raw deal at Penn State. I mean, they were 3-3 after coming off a playoff run, and you get rid of him after losing. One of the teams they lost to was Oregon. Like, I mean, come on. Now I know you lost to UCLA. That was a tough loss, but we're not gonna relive that.
When they want to get rid of you, Jody, it doesn't take much to get rid of a person. That's when you're with your lady and you say she ain't gave it up in a while. It don't take much to get on your skin because you ain't been hitting it for a while. So any little thing piss you off. Just give me what I need, girl, then I start acting right again. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hey, I can't complain. You are absolutely correct on that one. But before we get out of here, so
yes, sir.
They have made some rules. Hold on, real quick. Donald said I may be late to this off topic, but did y'all see the players are saying the 49ers practice facility located is causing ankles Achilles tears. I didn't hear that. That's going.
No, I
I'm
heard.
gonna have to do some research on that one, Donald. But did you see that they're trying to shorten the transfer portal time from 15 to 30 days, and they're trying to make some adjustments on the fly with the transfer portal. What are your sentiments when it comes to the transfer portal? If you were over college football, what would you do with the transfer portal? Would you adjust? What adjustments would you make?
I would not have it open until after the championship game. I know maybe that messes everything up. Man, we got players that are in the tournament, in the 12-team tournament. Players are leaving, and you're a playoff team. Look at Oregon. Oregon ran out of running backs. Some of them were hurt, and some of them were in the transfer portal. And some, you know what? We got some DBs that played running back in high school. You guys go to the running back room and start learning some of the plays. This has to stop, man. But I blame the NCAA for this. They've never had control of anything. Even way before this NIL deal, they were fucking up shit. They were just had all these stupid rules of finding kids for selling things that they owned. You remember? I think it was Ohio State players. They asked them championship jackets or something like
Pryor.
Yeah.
Remember what happened with Todd Gurley?
Yeah. I think the transfer portal, I have no problem with it. I think the timing is way off. I think maybe after the championship game, maybe they should allow kids to start moving.
I'm gonna say this, and this goes along with the transfer portal. I believe that if you have a head coach, I believe that the head coach should have to stay and put the head coaches in the transfer portal protocol as well. And what I mean by that is Lane Kiffin should have been able to. I understand everybody want to get on the recruiting trail and get your guys in there, but guess what? If you go to a new organization, you're just gonna have to miss that. You're just gonna have to miss that year. You're not going to get the guys that you're going to get. I believe that the coaches should be held to the same standards as the players in the transfer portal. And I think that that will right there alleviate a lot of things, because a lot of people get to hit the transfer portal when their coach leaves. So my thing is, if you like you said, make the transfer portal after every bowl game has been played, and also the coaches cannot accept coaching jobs until after every bowl game is being played.
Yeah.
And not just the bowl games you win, because guess what? There's a lot of head coaching vacancies that potentially people that are on these coaching staffs would have got an opportunity to get that job after they would have. Let's say the Miami Hurricane just go and put up a clinic on defense. Now people could be going after their defensive coordinator as a head coach.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I just think that what's good for the goose got to be good for the gander. And this is just my belief. My belief is that the transfer portal should be the same as the coaches. And I think if you did that, I think you would alleviate so much issues that you have, and then you can kill the complaint that everybody have, like, well, coaches do it too. Well, hold the coaches to the same standard. What do you think about that?
I like that, Jody. I think they should. The coach. I like the NFL model for. You got a lot of coaches right now that's coaching the playoffs. They're probably gonna get interviewed for some of these head coaching jobs, and if they're playing this week, a lot of times those coaches don't interview.
Right.
When I'm done with my season, if you want me to coach your team bad enough, you'll wait till I'm done to give me an interview. Maybe sometime if they have an extra, like some of the Seattle or Denver's coaches that were going to interview, they could have interviewed last week maybe because they didn't play. But then I need to focus on the job at hand. Look at Ohio State's offensive coordinator. He already had a head coaching job before he played that game against Miami. So how focused was he on getting his team on the offense, getting them ready to beat Miami, or was he focused on recruiting and buying a house in the new city he gonna be living in? How focused was he? I think that's a real problem in college sports right now.
Yeah, and I mean, we all lean to Lane Kiffin because he's so polarizing, and the reason why we keep talking about that. But I mean, there's some other guys there's a lot of people that are affected in that. Now, if you get fired mid-season like a James Franklin, then
different. Yeah.
And then Vitek, who didn't go to a bowl game, then you hire James Franklin and you move forward. But that's like, you just gonna have a bad season if that's how it's got to be, man. Everybody want instant success everywhere you go. Have you noticed in college sports there is no developmental part anymore? If you go to NFL, quarterbacks don't sit a year, running backs don't sit a year, wide receivers. Remember back in the day when you picked the first round draft pick, they may not have touched the field in the first year. I don't care what position you play, especially left tackles. Remember, left tackles never played their first year or second year. Left tackle, you did not want to put a left tackle out there, and you got your $1 million quarterback back there. Yeah. Now they like said, if you're the first round draft pick, you already are penciled in as a starter. You go to college, you don't even get a cycle of 4 years of your recruits before these guys get fired. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with either you win with some of the guys that you got over because normally outside of Nick Saban, you're not leaving an organization when you are winning. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if Urban Meyers left Florida was a dumpster fire when he left. Remember, he left and he sat out for a year. He had health problems. I mean, he probably did. I don't know the man's health. But he left for Florida, and Florida has not been the same since Urban Meyers left.
Nope.
Now, he got lucky. He goes to Ohio State, wins the championship at Ohio State. Ryan Day was on his staff, and Ryan Day got gifted that job. So there was no, he was already getting groomed to take that job. So it's like, if you go to an organization, so if you go to any college organization, you're normally not leaving if you're good.
Yeah, that's true.
So what do you think about that?
Yo, 100%. I 100% agree on that, Jody. We need to revamp this whole thing because what they're doing now is just I see why they're doing it because the way they have the transfer portal and recruiting, everything's moved up. So if I hire this coach, hey man, I gotta get you here now, man. I know you're still coaching this other team. I need you now. Recruiting is picking up. I need you out there talking to these players. In the transfer portal, I need you talking to the guys. So I don't know why they do it, but I think everything needs to be pushed back to the end of the season. That's just my opinion.
I like that. That's what definitely is going to happen, man. Great show today. So, man, it was just me and you.
All of our shows are great, brother. This is what we do.
You know,
this is what we do.
If we don't have a great show, we ain't never not had a bad
show. We'll never have a bad show.
We ain't never had a bad show. But man,
hey, I guess we'll never know.
If you're waiting for a bad show, you tuned into the wrong show. We keep doing our thing on Against the Grain Sports, man. But give it your final thought as we get out here.
Final thought. Right now, we have 12 college football teams in the tournament, and the SEC is petitioning to make 16 teams next year because they are playing an extra conference game, and that means that's another loss for some of these teams. So the SEC, we're playing 12. Let's make sure we have extra team, keep our same amount of teams in the tournament. So they're petitioning now to have 16 teams in the tournament instead of 12. And since the SEC has a lot of power and money, they'll probably get their way.
That's a bunch of crock of bull. Then they gonna want 20 teams.
Yeah, it ain't gonna stop, bro.
Then they want 24 teams. Next thing you know, it's gonna be a field of 68, just like college basketball. That's crazy work. Hey, my final thought is this, man. Going into the wild card weekend, we saw a lot of young quarterbacks for the first time get into the playoffs. It's a sight for sore eyes to see such success out of these young quarterbacks. Now we go into the divisional round, and we got guys like Bo Nix. We got young guys. We don't have the old aging Aaron Rodgers in there. The elder statesman in this playoff is Matthew Stafford. But you got a lot of young guys. You got Drake May in here. You got C.J. Stroud is a young quarterback. You still got Brock Purdy. He's still relatively a young quarterback. You got Caleb Williams, a young quarterback. You know, if you look across the board, it's crazy because really Josh Allen is still really a young quarterback. I think he's 30 years old. That's still relatively a young quarterback. If you take away Matthew Stafford, every quarterback that's left in the playoffs, I believe, is under 30. So that's a sight of the brilliance of what's going on in the NFL. I was really hard on the quarterback position, but I think the emerging back of the running game is helping these young guys. Because if you look at all these teams that's left in the playoffs with a young quarterback, they got a good running game. Like you said, the Bears got a good running game. Denver Broncos got a good running game. Buffalo Bills have the leading rusher in the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So New England, they got the kid, I don't know how to say Henderson, Travion Henderson. If you go to the NFC, they got a two-headed monster down in Seattle because really Sam Darnold he came in the same draft as Josh Allen, so he's 30 or younger. So he was in the same draft. People don't understand that. So they got a great running game. The Rams got a good running game, even though they got an elder statesman at quarterback. It's a lot of promise for the NFL. If any other sport out there, whether it be baseball, which I think baseball do a great job, basketball. But I think the product in the NFL is just going to continue to get stronger and stronger because you got quarterbacks that did not make it. Now you got Mendoza that's going to get drafted. I think he's going to try to do something with the Raiders. You got young Shedeur Sanders. You got Jackson Dart. You got Tyler Shaw. You got a lot of young. You got Cam Ward.
Yeah.
You just got a lot of young, promising quarterbacks that's going to change and transcend a lot of divisions, a lot of teams in the NFL. So I just want to give a big shout out to that because I was very critical on the quarterback position early this year. I'm still critical on you guys because the numbers are not matching your success. So, but you got to give credit when credit is due. So.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But yeah, man. I'm your host, Jody Coleman of Against the Grain Sports Podcast, Uncut, man. I'm joined by my brother, Jarrell Solo Sports Glenn, all the way from San Antonio, Texas. We got Michael, the People's Champ, in his absent. Donald, the voice of the youth. Jason, the hefty lefty. Andrew, mic'd up. And guess what, man? We got Ray, more than just a barber. Lindsay, but we can't do none of this, bro, without Jay Kane, the chef, cooking it up in the kitchen. So what we doing till tomorrow, man?
We working, baby.
See y'all tomorrow. Peace.